This video is from the course Introduction. It's designed for complete beginners and assumes you have no knowledge of the subject matter. If you are interested in more beginner, intermediate, or advanced content, check out our website SUBMETA.io. We're now going through the most common choke you will see from the back, which is the rear naked choke. I'm going to show it from this bobsled position just because it's easier to talk and demonstrate what I'm doing with my arms, but it can be applied whether we're falling to my left side or to my right side. So first off, I want to get my arm around the neck, okay? So usually to do that, you're going to put the point of your thumb starting from the outside and sliding through underneath the neck like so. Because if Michael tucks his chin and I can't get underneath the chin, if I put my thumb here, I work under the chin that way, keeping it tight and sliding along. Okay, so we've got our seatbelt, I've got my head in position, I put my thumb from the outside underneath the chin, slide it through, and then you want to anchor this arm because usually your opponent recognizes that you're going to choke them and they try to peel your hand away. If you can get your arm nice and deep to the point where it's behind the shoulder here, gripping, imagine that part of the shoulder bone here, the scapula here, you can feel that bone. Actually try and get your hands connected to that and quite tight to the neck. If Michael tries to peel my hand away now, it's a little too far, okay? Any shallower than that and he will be able to peel the arm off. So you want to keep going until we get that grip. And notice my head keeps pushing against that as a bit of counter pressure. Okay. So once we get this, I can start to take my left arm and put it in position. And I take that arm out. I'll put my hand, the back of my hand, just behind the neck. So my fingers behind the neck. I put my elbow forwards and I reach the hand now that was anchored to the shoulder will then reach on to my bicep. Generally the higher up the better. So up near the shoulder is actually tighter. So I've got my hand behind the neck here. Last thing to do is slide my hand a little deeper and then I'm ready to squeeze. Okay, so I take my hand from just the back of my hand to his neck to all the way behind the neck. And now I'm ready to finish the choke. The choke comes on by rowing backwards and pushing my chest forwards like this. Okay. So if I can just show that without Michael for a moment. We've got the rear naked choke in position and the neck is sitting in this gap. Okay. What I want to do here is push my chest forward, elbows tight, and row my elbow, particularly my right elbow, back towards my ribs. Notice this gap here where the neck is cuts off. It's a strong action to row backwards. I'm using my shoulder muscles and my shoulder retractors, so it's more my core. If you push, which is the most common way people think that it is, where I kind of push here into the head, then I'm using my tricep, which is a much weaker action, and it might not close that gap as well. So we actually want it to be a squeeze that works here. So when I want to finish, I don't push the head. I keep the back of my hand in contact and load down. And it's the row back towards me that will put the choke on. Now there's a few common mistakes that we see along the way for this choke. First one, not having the head connected, which allows Michael's head to move out to the side. I want to keep my head next to his head as I dig my arm across. We already talked about the arm being too shallow. You really need to make sure this arm gets very deep behind that shoulder blade before you start working for your second arm position. Now, very common, we will see people reach to their bicep first and then, so you see I've got my grip here, which is good, but then I can't get my second hand in. This is very easy to intercept. If Michael wants to block this and then potentially peel my hand off, he can. Okay. Instead of reaching this hand forward, if I put just the back of my hand behind his neck, if he tries to peel that hand off, it's hard to get at. And I bring my elbow forward, so I'm bringing my shoulder to my hand and feeding my hand from there. You see that? I bring my shoulder forward, my hand pops in second. So if he's trying to peel either of my hands off here, that's very difficult, okay? Then I can start to slide my hand through, all right? Lastly, common mistake is pushing the head, especially any grip above this kind of the back of the head here. Any grip up here can be peeled off. If Michael reaches back for my hand, I start to lose the choke again. By keeping this hand below that line and making sure I row backwards with my chest coming forward, it should be a very powerful finish. Make sure the grip, when you do grip onto your hand, it is not here, but like over the past this corner here, where I can actually grip the back of my tricep. Okay, so when I'm going for this choke, if you just grip here, this will slip, okay? This hand will fall out, okay? You need to actually make sure this comes right forward and you can grip over the top. Now I know it's a secure grip and I'm gonna be able to finish the choke. So in summary, we've got the seat belt. I've got my head next to Michael's head. I take my thumb next to his chin, slide it across and grip the back of his shoulder blade. From there, I keep my head in position as I take my arm out, put the back of my fingers to the back of his neck, roll my elbow forward, grip onto my shoulder, and then I slide my hand a little deeper. Once I've got my hand right behind the back of his head, I row backwards with my elbows as I bring my chest forward and finish the rear naked choke. I hope you enjoyed this video from the course Introduction on SUBMETA.io. If you go to SUBMETA.io, you can watch this course for free, uninterrupted, with exercises to help you with recall. Also for free, we have the follow-up course to this, Foundations 1 Escapes, which builds on the content you'll be learning in this course.